Hi, Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 3 of the June daily draws. Let's see what message we get today. And I'll be taking the first card from the Good Fortune Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have the Knight of Swords. So we have some plans to put into action. I'm assuming this card is saying it's time to put plans into action. If we're a bit short on the plans, or if we don't have any plans or ideas to put into action, we better hurry up and get some, because now's the time to put some plans into action. So if we haven't got an idea or a plan devised yet, let's get devising so we can put it into action, because now's the time to do so. So he's putting plans into action. He's acting upon the ideas that we've had, the concepts we've conceived, and we're literally taking flight, moving toward with a sense of purpose, focus, readiness. Is all decked out in his armor, so he's ready to defend what he's doing. He's ready to defend himself. He's got his sword pointing forward towards where he's going, what he wants to achieve. So that's the focus, that's the sense of direction, and that's what it is. And with swift action as well. This is one of the knights that I always see as being more of a faster pace than the others. The other one that tends to be to me of a more faster pace is the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords, to me always have that more dynamic, swift motion, whereas the Knight of Cups not so much. And certainly the Knight of Pentacles to me is the slowest, because it's the earth, it's more grounded, it's more detailed and practical sort of thing. Anyway, we're not discussing those cards, but in general, the knights, you've got a couple of the knights that are faster than the other two. This, to me, is indicative of swift action. So it's time to take some swift action, maybe. That's what I mean. That it's if we don't know what we've got to act upon, we better figure it out quick, because it's time to act. Now is the time to act. Put our ideas into motion. That's how we're going to achieve what we want to achieve. That's how we're going to create in our lives what we want to create. The issues that we've been talking about for some time now. There's only so much planning, reflecting, coming up with ideas, getting the clarity we need. Once we've done that, right, that doesn't bring about the things we want to achieve. The only thing that brings that about is by putting all of these things into some kind of active plan, some kind of active strategy, taking actual, action, doing things, communicating things, saying things, and expressing things. This is how we create. This is how we achieve our goals. And now's the time to begin to put some things into play so that we can begin to do that. And that's what the Knight of Swords is coming to say, is that, yes, there is a place for reflecting, for thinking up your ideas, refining your ideas, but there comes a point when those ideas have to be acted upon if their potential, the potential of those ideas is actually going to become a reality in our lives. Otherwise, they just remain simply thoughts, ideas, and nothing else, because without the action needed to carry them out and bring them into reality, they just remain as ideas. So this is the next step upon when we've worked through all the details of the ideas and situations that we've had, that we've been reflecting on. We've had our Four of Swords moment that we had. Now is time to act upon what we've gained from those times and to put things into action. And that's basically what the Knight of Swords is telling us to do. And I love the fact that here we have, is in the form of a bird, a big bird here that he's riding, and he's riding above the clouds, so he's above all the confusion. He's risen above the confusion. He's got the clear sky because he's above the clouds and he's above the mountains. So the way's clear for him. He's not going to be, he hasn't got a mountain stood in his way. He hasn't got the clouds obscuring his sight, his vision. He can clearly make the progress that he needs to make, but he does so by the actions that he's taking, and that's how we must approach things. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Butterflies. That's another sort of winged creature here, taking flight, the transformation of the butterfly from the caterpillar. And there comes a point where he has to emerge from the cocoon and fly out into the sky. Otherwise, he just remains trapped in the cocoon. And what's the purpose in that? And what does it say here? Here in the unknown, you will find the essence of who you really are and what magic awaits. We've had this thing for a while now about find the essence of who you really are, our identity as our true selves, and connecting with that. And we need to do that, and we need to continue to do that. But there comes a point where we at least need to start acting as our true selves. Once we start to connect with who we truly are, we need to be who we truly are, speak as we truly are, and act as we truly are. And that fits in with, even with that, is that when we become aware of our own identity, the active part is being that, who we are, and living as who we are, not just as a concept, but in the things we do, the things we say, our very being, expressing our true selves. That is part of what the Knight of Swords is also talking about. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 4. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.